Lump, brother, have you seen any lumps?
Okay, so the fuck's wrong with my headphones? Anyway, I hope the acoustics of this new space aren't too terrible, but this is my uni room. And also that looks really, really quiet. Anyway, in keeping with the new recording space, this episode is about moving into uni. But not all of it will apply to all of you, so don't take this advice as, complete gold. It will change for each person. Just as the amount of screaming children outside my window will change every single day. And I will hate them, each individually, separately. Anyway, now that we've finished with that, back onto uni. So, I moved in, it must be about a month ago now. On Monday it'll be a month ago. And I've known my housemates for pretty much the entirety of that time. I did kind of know one of them beforehand because she went to my primary and my secondary school. So it was sort of like, hey, did you go to then our school? And it was alright. So, but no, I've been really lucky with my housemates. They've all been really great. We've we did pizza night. Which night was that? That must have been like the first Saturday, and then I think the week after I did pasta, and then we didn't do anything last week, and then this week we are going to do curry, I believe. But yeah, we routinely cook sort of together. It's sort of, we're a very social house, I'd say. The only, not unsocial person, but the only two people who aren't as social are the two guys, which is fair. They have their own things to do. One's a third year, and one of them, I guess, all, us four girls are sort of a little much sometimes. But yeah, no, we're sort of all getting along quite nicely. We're all sort of relatively tidy. I mean, our landlord's a bit shit. Like, one of my course mates, she, basically, they changed the lock on her door. Yeah, or they changed the code on the lock on her door. Basically, she couldn't get in last night. And she phoned up the landlord, and they said, "Oh, you shouldn't be calling us this late." And we're all sort of like, "Wow, Geraldine, you're a cunt. Kind of need to get into your own room." But it is what it is, apparently. So yeah, no, we don't really like our landlord as much, especially since the heating keeps being weird. And my door is kind of broken, but it's fine. We're dealing with it. I think that's the thing. No matter what house you get, it's never going to be perfect. Like, you're always going to have stuff to deal with, whether it's with the housemates, with the house itself, something. There's always going to be something. Okay, I want to drop a little bit of advice. I would, if you know people who are going to be in the house next year, in the house before you move in, maybe call them or text them and say, hey, what do you have in the way of kitchenware? Because a lot of us brought a lot of kitchen stuff, and we each get one cupboard, and two of the cupboards are fucking tiny. Like, I have one of the small cupboards, and like 90% of my food, anything that's not fridge stuff, bar a packet of rice, some honey, what else? Maybe there's something else in my cupboard downstairs, but basically a packet of rice and some honey, because that's what I'm gonna sort of instantly use if, like, I just go downstairs and go, oh fuck, I needed something. Everything else that's not fridge stuff, or those two things, is upstairs in my room in a bin. I say bin like a tote bin type thing, Also, yes, your kitchen will smell like pasta and tomato sauce. There is no getting over it. Every student house I've ever been in has smelled like pasta and tomato sauce. I think it seems to be like a landlord rule. If you're letting out to students, your house or your kitchen has to smell like that. I don't know what it is, because I know a lot of students eat pasta because pasta is really easy to make, but it seems to be a thing. It always seems to smell like identical. Also, student houses are always cold, so have a blanket on hand. I would also say look at the sort of things you're going to live on and optimize it. Like, for example, if you're sort of person who drinks a lot of like fizzy drinks and squash and tea and stuff like that, start drinking water. Water's free. It comes out of that wonderful thing in the kitchen called the tap. So yeah, optimize the way that you live. So find little shortcuts to mean that you spend less money. It's always great. I mean, I know obviously that seems to be the general student ethos, but if you can sort these things out before you move in, it'll make moving in a lot easier. Like, I just kind of moved in and I've gone straight over to drinking like straight water like all the time. I have occasional cups of tea, coffee, hot chocolate, but it's like 90% of the time it's water. Like, well, not even that, 97% of the time it's water. Oh fuck, that's why I was supposed to get a water bottle when I went out shopping earlier, but it's fine. I've got like 4 more, but I wanted like a fucking big reusable thing. It's fine. There are 2 approaches that you can take to your local area. I have taken the first approach, and I'm hoping maybe in the future I'll go up on the second approach. The first approach is basically limit what you need to know about your local area as much as possible, pretty much. Which is what I've done. Like, I don't know how to get into town. I know how to get around town once I'm there. I know how to get from my house to my campus. I know how to get from my house to 2 supermarkets, so that's good. But other than around town, to the supermarkets, to the campus, around the campus, I don't know how to get, like, anywhere. So I'm going to learn some stuff about it. Like, I think me and one of my housemates are walking down to the sea tomorrow, so we're going to walk from the house down to the beach, which is like a 45-minute hour walk. It's not too far. So yeah, there's a couple of, that's the first option, and the other option is learn as much as you possibly can about your local area. And you will do that to a certain extent over a certain period of time, but if you're like me and my housemates, we don't go out like ever. Like our course, like us first year lot keep being asked by our course mates to go out, to Spoons or whatever, and we're like, no. So yeah, today the excuse was making congee and going to Asda. So we've done Asda. Next is congee a bit later, so it's a good excuse. There is a slight possibility that in the first term you will be bored as well, almost certainly. A lot of people make jokes about how, the first year at university is just for getting drunk and doing no work at all. No, it is kind of important. Like, for example, I have to pass the first year to get into the second year, funny enough, like most people do. But I have specific units that I have to pass. Thankfully, I like my course enough to actually want to pass like everything really well. Like, I've already started way more work than I needed to, but that's just because I want to, because it's interesting stuff. Like my final piece for my module 2, which is contextual study, so it's contextualizing props to like historical, or it's not even props. You can do it on anything because it is a general subject, but you're expected to do it on props because I'm on a props course. But yeah, in theory, I could go and talk to, the guy who's taking our class, which is like a vocal coach. Basically, he works with performers a lot, so he's a vocal coach. So I could go and talk to him, and basically do an entire 2,500 word essay or 20-minute presentation on using your voice in theatre and stuff like that. If I wanted, I'm not going to, and no one would, because why the fuck would you? If you wanted to do stuff like that, then you'd take a course on that. But yeah, no, I've already started that. That's due in for February, and I think I'm going to choose to do the presentation because it means I get to as many things as possible. I'm going to choose presentation, basically because it means I get to do both if I want to. My module 1, which is like just a reflective report, if I do coursework, I've chosen to do coursework for the one reason that it means I go to Friday right before reading week off, and one of my second year friends has Fridays off, so she's going home on the train that day, and so I don't go on the train by myself. I'm doing that. I'm only going for a long weekend. Like, that's the thing. I'm going to be back on like Monday or Tuesday, and I'm going to be working again, so I'll prep for module 3. That's the thing. If you can find a course that you're passionate enough about, like for example, I'm really passionate about this course, I want to work on it, so that's really the first step, I'd say, is find a course you're passionate about. And then from there, it's optimize the way you live and sort yourself out, really. It's also really useful to have a friend with a car. Like, if you're having to take a lot of stuff to and from uni with you. I had 2-3 toolboxes. Well, one big toolbox and then another big toolbox's worth of like PPE and stuff. It's personal protective equipment, if you were unaware. which I don't know why you wouldn't be, but anyway, so I had a lot of stuff, so like over 2-3 days I got taken into college with me. I switched between calling it college and uni because it is a uni course, but it's on a college campus, so you know, it gets complicated. I think what's really funny is that in my house we've got a good mixture of people, like for example, me, one of the third years, and another of the first years, we're quite happy to hang up late. Like we were sat in the kitchen till like 1:30, like 1 o'clock, 1:30 last night. And yeah, it's not like hideously late, but because in fact it was, you know, a uni, like a school night as it were. We're going in again like today, like at 9 o'clock. It was relatively late, like that sort of thing, you know, it's like, yeah, most students do it, but you know, they end up being dead the next morning. We have to go in and start in a workshop. Like, if I could sleep through the first half an hour of our useless lecture, then that's fair, yeah, whatever. But still. So we've got that. We've got 2 people who are early to bed. Quite early, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You know, I will do that occasionally. Like, that's after I've basically wiped myself out after like I've only had 4.5 hours of sleep. So I feel like death. That's the thing. If I do like 4 hours sleep, like pretty much what I did last night. I mean, it was a little bit more, but like 4 hours sleep. And then I do like a decent amount of exercise the next day to keep myself awake, then I'm fine, whatever, yeah. But like the last time I did it, I fucking killed myself. So I got like a relatively early night. It was like 11:30 in bed, and then I was up at 6 basically. So it all depends on how you want to approach things. I would also advise don't move in too early, because I think that's the thing that gets a lot of people with homesickness, is they move in sort of 2-3, maybe even like a month before, 2-3 weeks, a month before the course starts, and then they get sat around for 3 weeks with pretty much nothing to do, so they start to feel like shit. I was in for a week. It wasn't even that, it was half a week by myself, because my parents stayed until Wednesday. They left on Wednesday. I had a friend come around on Wednesday, come down from my hometown down to here, down to Worthing, and that was quite nice. And then I had, Thursday through to Monday to, be, just at uni, and then I started, and it meant that I am not homesick. I guess it also helps that I'm so close, like, I can, on a weekend, go back home. It'd be hard fucking work, like it'd be a late night Friday and a late night Sunday, but I could do it. It's not that difficult. The train station's a nice, sort of 15-minute walk away. It's doable for sure. So I think I've got it quite easy, but it does help to be quite, not late, but to move in slightly later than some people seem to think is necessary. And if you do, on the off chance, start to feel homesick, then maybe ask your parents, friends, whatever, to send you letters. Like, it's really nice to get stuff through in the post. Obviously, like, ordering stuff off Amazon is the best fucking feeling in the world when it finally turns up. But, getting just letters is also quite nice. To be fair, I'm actually still waiting on something from the Modern Rogue. I'm still waiting on one of their t-shirts. They still haven't shipped it yet. Obviously, it was a pre-order sale, and now I'm waiting on international shipping, and it's not even left yet. It's like, I don't think it's even left yet, because it just says more information will be available. Check back here. But yeah. So yeah, obviously parcels are nice, but it's also really nice to get like a letter from home. So if it comes down to it, then go for that. You will almost certainly end up abandoning some of your hobbies. Like, I haven't read my book. I started, a week or 2 ago. Well, no, actually, no, I think I started as soon as I got down here, pretty much. I haven't read any of that in about a week and a half. I just haven't, because I've been staying up chatting to friends, I've been working, watching Drag Race. I'm not starting another series. What are you saying? No, it's not like I have stuff to watch. Yeah, no, I'm rewatching season 3 of Arrow. I've started Psycho Pass. I've still got Vampire Night to finish. Obviously got Drag Race. I want to make my way through Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Defenders, all that sort of stuff. They're about to premiere a new series of Daredevil, I think, or the trailer's coming out soon anyway. I've got a new season of Ruby coming in like 3 weeks. think it's 3 weeks. I've got so much to do, so much to watch and so little time. Also, I've got Kong Skull Island to watch, because my sister got that for me, because she's a babe. I've not seen the first one. I think it was the first one. Isn't there a first one? I don't know. Is that a second one? I don't know. I can't be asked to go up and check. And yes, you will drop out of touch with old friends. It is going to happen. There is no way of avoiding it in the slightest. It'll happen. Like, I haven't spoken to Tom since I moved, basically. I haven't spoken to him since I moved down here. Duncan, haven't spoken to him since I moved down here, pretty much. I've spoken to Alex once, and he wanted photos of my house, because he was doing something that involved university, so he wanted like a uni student house type thing, and I haven't spoken to him since then. So if you're watching this, hey AJ, I automatically still call you AJ. Hey Alex, it's me. We should talk more. Okay, thanks, bye. A side note, if you're wondering what happened to all the videos, I've decided from now on that I'm basically only ever going to upload when I feel like a video is finished. When I have a good video and I feel like it's finished, or finished enough, then it'll go up. I'm not giving myself an upload schedule just because trying to juggle all of that would just be too much for me. Like, I might do a video on Inktober at some point, I don't know. I've got something from a little while ago. Yeah, I've got a few bits rattling around, but nothing serious. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's the end.